Time for the third group of the submarine sandwich problem. So this group has 8 people and 7 subs. So I want to do the same system I did before. First, I'm going to work with the length of the subs divided by the number of people. Then I'm going to work it out as a percentage to compare. Okay, so we got 7 subs. So another little strategy we're using is the diagrams. 6, 7 subs. And if each sub is 12 inches, which again is not written in the question, but we're just using it as a reference. Okay, it wouldn't matter what number we used. 12 is the obvious. So 12 times 7, 84. We're dealing with 84 inches of sub. And that 84 inches of sub, we know, is going to be divided by 8 people. So 84 inches of sub divided by 8 people will give us which number? 84 divided by 8 equals 10.5. So these people in group 3 are actually getting 10.5 inches of sub per person. So they're doing okay. They're doing much better than the first 2 groups. Group 2 only got 99.6 and group 1 only got 9. So group 3 so far is the best group to be in if you want more sub to eat, right? Depends who's in the group, I guess. Okay, now, second strategy, let's look at it as the fraction. 7 subs divided by 8 people, okay? This is a fraction that can be expressed as a decimal and as a percentage. Remember, if I didn't explain this before, 7 over 8 is the same as saying 7 out of 8, which is the same as saying 7 divided by 8. Okay, the line in a fraction that separates the numerator from the denominator is a division. 7 divided by 8 equals 0.875. Which, if we multiply by 100, equals 87.5% of a sub. So group 3 gets 87.5% of a sub. That's pretty decent. If you got 87% on a test, that would be a good score. Okay, so they're doing pretty well as a whole. And I think so far this group is doing the best, right? 87%. The first 2 groups had only 75%, 80%. Group 3 has 87%. Okay, now let's check group 4. Okay, I'm just going to keep continuing here. Group 4 has, now they've got 3 subs, but they've got 5 people. We know from looking at group 1 that they had the same number of subs. There's 3 subs, but only 4 people to share it. Now, adding an extra person to share it, we would predict that these people will get even less of a sub, which most people wouldn't be too happy with. So if I draw the sandwiches out, I got 3 sandwiches. And I know from my initial calculations, 3 times 12, that's 36 inches of sub. Okay, so 36 inches divided by 5 people. We're going to see how small this percentage is. 36 divided by 5, 7.2. So these guys only get 7.2 inches per person, which is not a lot of sub. I mean, maybe it's enough. It's more than half, okay? But it's still not fair if other people get more. And that's, I think, what we've been trying to establish here. Is this fair? So group 4 only gets 7.2 inches per person. If we look at that as a fraction, 3 subs divided by 5 people. 3 divided by 5 equals, 0.6, which multiplied by 100 equals only 60%. So group 4 is really not doing too well here in terms of the distribution of subs. That's not fair. They only get 60% of a sub. That's just a little bit over half, right? Compared to the group above, who got like almost a whole sub, 10.5 inches. Okay. So we've gone through 2 different strategies now, looking at how to calculate the distribution within the group. Now let's look at the entire thing as a conclusion.